The child embodies our ultimate vision, that every Filipino learner will realize their full potential and ultimately reach their biggest dreams, no matter how high, no matter how hard, through quality education. And as our learners aim to soar, we must continue to elevate our goals. Rising, the kite is our emblem of aspiration to deliver the brand of quality in Philippine basic education. The quadrants of the soaring kite symbolize the key reform areas in forwarding this cause, as we embark on this aggressive reform to yield upskilled teachers, well-developed curriculum, improved learning environment, and responsive multi-stakeholder cooperation. Using the colors of our flag, the logo symbolizes our unity and serves as a reminder that it takes a nation to educate a child. Together, we as a nation will have to move forward and gain more momentum so that our vision of quality basic education for all shall take flight. Sama-sama sa pagsulong ng edukalidad.
Well, hello, Mrs. Morgan. Remember how hard it was to get your students' attention? Oh, Mr. Jeski. Any explosive ideas? And you, Mr. Fisher. The world keeps turning, right? Okay, we're past all that, because now we have Microsoft Educator Center. Trainings, courses, webinars, programs, badges, points, certificates. Join now and get yourself ready for the new school year. Teach your best.
Nang sumiklab ang giyera sa Marawi, maraming buhay at kabuhayan ang nawala. Maraming kabahayan at paaralan ang napinsala. Sa kabila ng matinding suliranin, naging matagumpay ang DepEd na mabigyan ang mga mag-aaral ng pagkakataong ipagpatuloy ang edukasyon at muling bumangon sa sitwasyon. Habang naghihintay sa pagkumpuni at pagsasaayos ng mga paaralan, nagkaloob ang DepEd ng mga temporary learning shelters, remedial classes, learning kits, at feeding programs para sa mga displaced learners. Nabigla ang lahat sa pag-alboruto ng Bulkang Taal. Libo-libong pamilya, kabilang ang mga guro at mag-aaral, ang nawalan ng tirahan at mga ari-arian. Mabilis ang naging tugon ng DepEd upang makapagpatuloy sa pag-aaral ang mga apektadong mag-aaral. Sinikap ng mga guro na turuan ang mga mag-aaral na pansamantalang tumuloy sa evacuation center. Tumama sa bansa ang COVID-19 pandemic, dahilan upang maantala ang normal na daloy ng pamumuhay at trabaho sa lahat ng sektor, kabilang na ang kagawaran ng edukasyon. Nang ipatupad ang Luzon lockdown, inilunsad ang DepEd Commons upang tuloy ang pagkatuto ng mga learners habang nasa bahay. Sa kabila ng mabigat na hamon sa ilalim ng new normal, patuloy na nagpunyagi ang DepEd upang maghanap at maghatid ng mga alternatibong pamamaraan upang magpatuloy ang edukasyon sa pinakaligtas at pinakaangkop na paraan. Sa ilalim ng Learning Continuity Plan, layunin ng DepEd na magpatuloy ang edukasyon nang hindi nakokompromiso ang kapakanan at kalusugan ng mga guro at mag-aaral. Isusulong ng DepEd ang tatlong pangunahing layunin: angkop na proteksyon, kaugnay ng mga health standards at safety protocols para sa ligtas na school year, patuloy na edukasyon sa pamamagitan ng blended learning, distance learning at homeschooling na angkop sa kapasidad ng bawat mag-aaral, at mabisang aksyon sa pakikipagtulungan sa lokal na pamahalaan at mga partner organizations upang maihatid ang dekalidad na edukasyon para sa lahat. Bawat DepEd division ay bumuo rin ng sarili nilang Learning Continuity Plan upang gabayan ang mga guro, mga magulang at mga mag-aaral sa bagong pamamaraan ng pag-aaral gamit ang online, modular at TV and radio-based instructions. Gamit ang iba't ibang learning modalities, nagdaos ng dry run ang mga paaralan sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa, katuwang ang mga local government units at mga education partners upang maging handa sa bagong sistema ng edukasyon. Isinagawa rin ang mga pagsasanay at oryentasyon sa mga magulang upang maging epektibong katuwang sa pag-aaral ng kanilang mga anak. Sa anumang hamon o sitwasyon, handa ang DepEd. Handang kumilos, handang tumugon, at handang magserbisyo.
Ang dami ng mga pagsusubok at challenges ang naharap at napagtagumpayan ng ating Department of Education. Tuwing may pagsusubok, priority palagi natin ang ating learners at ang ating mga teachers sa tulong ng parents at saka partners at ang buong bansa. Ngayon, sa hinaharap natin itong new normal na sinasabi nila, matatag ang ating kagawaran, matatag ang DepEd dahil pinagtibay na tayo ng panahon. Kayang-kaya natin ito sa tulong ninyo.
G'day everyone, I'm Mark. As a teacher and a former principal, I know that professional learning often comes at the end of a very long day. But there are exciting, less structured ways to be in the driver's seat of your own lifelong learning. A great place to start is by engaging with our Microsoft Innovative Educator, or MIE community. This global community is big, in fact it's enormous. Our MIEs love connecting. Monthly tweet meets are global gatherings of inspiring educators around big topics, and their Facebook group acts as a persistent home for discussions and shared activities. Another way teachers are learning within communities is through Microsoft Teams. Now, greater teacher collaboration improves teaching across schools, and Teams is the ultimate platform for a professional learning community. It's open-walled and socially embedded, so you can incorporate your OneNote Staff Notebook PLC and have access to all the goodness of video chat, phone, and collaboration tools. With Immersive Reader built in, it's inclusive and accessible on any device. Your learning community is just a click away. Last tip, our Microsoft Education Centre offers great ways to gain new skills with courses tailored uniquely to your needs. Make it a collaborative experience by picking a MEC course to do together with your peers. And as a bonus, you can practice collaborative learning by exploring a research paper like the Class of 2030, and treat it just like a book club with your colleagues face-to-face or in Teams. The link to that research, it's in the description. Remember, learning is socially embedded. It's best done together for students and for teachers. Happy learning.
2020 brought new beginnings for the Department of Education. Ready to pivot towards attaining quality education, DepEd was hopeful of the challenges ahead of it. But as DepEd continued to work on its commitment, the world suddenly faced a steeper dilemma. Around the globe, countries like the Philippines had to shift their priorities to respond to a public health crisis brought by COVID-19. Schools had to be closed, activities had to be halted, graduation ceremonies had to be canceled, as people were urged to stay at home. A new normal dawned upon us. As soon as DepEd realized the impact of these disruptions in education, it began to proactively craft its learning continuity plan last April to ensure that learning opportunities will still be available. Consulting with partners and advisors through the Education Forum, as well as legislators, teachers, parents, learners, and the general public, DepEd made sure its LCP encompasses the concerns of the whole education sector in responding to the crisis. Its topmost priority being the protection of the health, safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel. To make informed decisions, DepEd first analyzed relevant data and epidemiological picture for the incoming school year. DepEd also issued guidelines on its required health standards to be adopted in all public and private schools and DepEd offices following DOH and IATF protocols. It covers 4 COVID-19 mitigation objectives, namely, to increase physical and mental resilience, reduce transmission, reduce contact, and reduce duration of infection. The LCP also outlined how learning continuity will be ensured. It streamlines the K-12 curriculum into the most essential learning competencies and allows the use of distance learning, homeschooling, and blended learning modalities. Since conducting face-to-face classes will be a risk in most areas, DepEd has anchored its delivery of education to modular, online, TV and radio, or a combination of all. Guided by teachers, modular learning will allow learners to use self-learning modules in a format applicable to learners' capacity. In online distance learning, teachers will facilitate and engage learners' participation through the internet, whether synchronous or asynchronous. TV and radio-based instructions, on the other hand, are converted lessons fit for the broadcast medium. The LCP assures that all our learners, including our SPED, ALS, Madrasa students, can still access education even within the confines of their homes, and ensures that their household capacity will not hinder their right to education. To make this possible, our joint Brigada Eskwela and Oplan Balik Eskwela is assisting the preparations for the rollout of the LCP. On May 8, the LCP was approved by the IATF. The President also gave it his full support and expressed his commitment to meeting the financial demands of its execution. The implementation of the LCP will not be easy. It is not a perfect plan, and complications can be expected along the way. But extraordinary times call for extraordinary and proactive measures, and the Department of Education is ready to address the challenges along the way with the help of our national and local government, partners, parents, and learners. As one nation, learning opportunities shall be available in this brave new world for our Filipino children.
When you need the focus to be on you and not whatever that guy's doing, open Teams.
bilisan mo! Tutal na wasak na naman namin ang lahat ng ari-arian nyo!
Sa totoong buhay, totoo ang pinsala ng giyera. Mula noon hanggang ngayon. Para limitahan ang kalupitan ng giyera, nagkaisa ang mga bansa 70 taon na ang nakalipas upang itaguyod ang Geneva Conventions. Ang Geneva Conventions ay kinikilala ng buong mundo bilang bahagi ng international humanitarian law na nagtatakda ng mga patakaran ng giyera o the rules of war. Ayon dito, huwag gawing target ang mga sibilyan at kanilang mga ari-arian. Tratuhin sa makataong paraan ang mga nabilanggo at protektahan ng mga doktor, nurse at mga ospital para paglingkuran ang mga sugatan at may sakit saan man panig sila nagmula. Alamin ang Geneva Conventions. Bisitahin ang www.therulesofwar.org.
Hi guys, so I just came from a meeting and I was just told that I would be leading this fundraising concert for International Students Day. And I have to present the plan to the school board next week. Okay, I'm going to need some help. Let me create a team space and invite my dream team. Sia, she knows all about the budgeting and stuff. Ivan, he knows all the kids from the performing arts group. Aisha, she worked on getting sponsorship last year. And Sam, because he's so cute. Let me lay out all tasks in Planner and kick things off. So, I'm almost done with my event concept and inspiration board. I just need Ivan to do some final tweaks and plug in the repertoire. Budget from Sia? Check. Sponsorship plan? Check. Done! Whew! When you start using Microsoft Teams, teamwork really does become easier. So now I'm heading over to present the plan to the school board. Wish me luck!
De Luna,
Present!
Herrera,
Present!
Valera.
Present!
Handa ba tayo sa school year 2020?
Present!
Ngayong taon, ang edukasyon tuloy pa rin. Sa tulong ng DepEd, mga guro at mga magulang, ang handang isip, handa bukas. Tuloy-tuloy ang pag-aaral. May mga modules para sa iba't ibang antas. Sa government TV, maging sa radyo. Mahalagang ligtas ang ating mga estudyante at guro. Kaya kahit nasa bahay, tuloy ang edukasyon. Kung tulong-tulong, may paraan, may aralan.
Handang isip, handa bukas.
Bisitahin ang DepEd Philippines sa Facebook at ang deped.gov.ph.
If you spend more time tracking down files than actually working on them, open Teams.
Handa ka na bang magpabakuna? Narito ang mga paalala at hakbang na gagawin sa proseso ng pagbabakuna. Bago ang pagbabakuna, kinakailangan mo nang dumaan sa pre-vaccination screening. Kinakailangan kumuha muna ng medical clearance sa doktor ang mga kabilang sa special population tulad ng mga sumusunod. May autoimmune disease, may cancer, may HIV, sumasailalim sa transplant operation, kasalukuyang umiinom ng steroids, mga pasyenteng may taning na ang buhay dahil sa karamdaman o nakaratay na lang sa kama o bahay. Kapag ikaw ay nabigyan na ng medical clearance mula sa iyong doktor, narito ang mga dapat gawin bago ang araw ng iyong pagbabakuna. 1. Humingi ng schedule at lugar kung saan ka magpapabakuna sa iyong pinakamalapit na barangay health center. 2. Huwag kalimutan dali ng iyong government ID, proof of comorbidity o medical clearance, pati na ang face mask, face shield at hand sanitizer. Sa araw ng pagbabakuna, narito ang mga steps na dapat sundin. Step 1. Waiting area. Siguraduhin kayo ay pumunta sa tamang oras at petsa ng inyong schedule sa pagbabakuna. Hindi papayagan ang mga walk-in sa vaccination sites. Maupo sa bakanting upuan alinsunod sa tamang pagkakasunod na pilang. Hintayin na tawagin kayo para sa susunod na hakbang. Habang nag-aantay, sumunod sa minimum public health standards. Isuot ang face mask at face shield, sundin ang proper physical distancing at ugaliing maghugas at isanitize ang kamay. Step 2. Registration. Sundin ang mga patakaran ng inyong LGU o vaccination site sa pag-register at ipakita ang inyong government ID. Bibigyan kayo ng kopya ng informed consent form, health screening form at mga pamphlet tungkol sa bakuna na pwede ninyong basahin. Hintayin na matapos ang proseso ng registration bago pumunta sa susunod na hakbang. Step 3. Screening. Kayo ay isa sa ilalim sa health screening at tatanungin tungkol sa inyong kalusugan tulad ng history of COVID-19 exposure, history of vaccination, mga gamot na iniinom, kung may allergies at iba pa. Ito ay para makasiguro kung angkop para sa inyo ang magpabakuna sa kasalukuyan. Step 4. Health education. Makinig sa ibabahaging importanteng impormasyon tungkol sa pagbabakuna para sa COVID-19. Kung mayroon pa kayong ibang katanungan, sumangguni sa ating mga vaccination staff. Siguraduhin na pirmahan ang consent form na pumapayag kayong magpabakuna bago pumunta sa susunod na hakbang. Step 5. Vaccine Administration. Ito ang panahon kung saan kayo ay babakunahan sa loob ng 1 o 2 minuto. Huwag kalimutan na kunin ang inyong vaccination card pagkatapos matanggap ang bakuna. Step 6. Observation. Alinsunod sa Department of Health, ang lahat na magpapabakuna ay kailangan manatili sa pasilidad ng 15 hanggang 30 minuto para obserbahan kung may hindi magandang nararamdaman. Ang ating medical staff ay nakatutok sa inyo para ma-monitor ang inyong kalusugan. Bibigyan kayo ng mga pangalan ng health facility o hotline kung saan pwedeng pumunta kung kinakailangan sumangguni dahil sa side effects ng bakuna. Pagkatapos ng pagbabakuna, huwag kalimutang gawin ang mga sumusunod. 1. Itanong ang mga nais mong malaman tungkol sa vaccine na binigay sa'yo. 2. Huwag kalimutan ang iyong vaccination card. 3. Alamin ang petsa ng second dose ng iyong pagbabakuna. 4. Kunin ang contact number o alamin kung sino ang dapat tawagan kung sakali mang ikaw ay nakadarama ng seryosong side effects. Narito rin ang ibang mga paalala na dapat tandaan. Siguraduhin bumalik sa schedule para sa pangalawang dose ng bakuna. Laging tatandaan na kahit nabakunahan ka na, ay huwag pa rin kalimutan sumunod sa minimum public health standards tulad ng pagsasanitize ng mga kamay, pagsusuot ng face mask at face shield, at pagdistansya sa iba ng 1 metro. Magmask, hugas, iwas, airflow. Ito ay para na rin sa ating proteksyon at sa proteksyon ng iba. Narito ang pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga eligible population na target mabakunahan. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, bisitahin ang mga sumusunod na pages. Facebook, Official DOH Gov. Twitter, @DOHGovPH. Website, doh.gov.ph. Tara na sa Bida Vaccination!
The COVID-19 pandemic has brought unprecedented changes to our usual ways of living. But the Department of Education remains unfazed by these challenges to fulfill the mission of Sulong Edukalidad, the rallying call for national effort to deliver quality basic education to all Filipinos, which involve aggressive reforms in the 4 key areas: the K-12 curriculum review and update, improving the learning environment, teachers upskilling and reskilling, engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration to move forward together as we prepare the education system for the future. The call for Sulong Edukalidad will continue, and we have built the framework of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, or the BELCP, to put the needs of the learners at top priority. DepEd's BELCP is the major response and commitment to protect the health, safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel. The plan aims to provide opportunities to continue education even in these trying times with a BELCP in place, supported by an unprecedented number of diverse stakeholders from the academe, media, industry groups, NGOs, business and private individuals. Sulong Edukalidad will be able to sustain the aims in its reform for quality basic education. In our journey towards quality education, we have established the 4 pillars of aggressive reforms from the start, and we have been continuing to progress in these pillars. In improving the learning environment, we took action in the construction and rehabilitation of school buildings, ensured the availability of learning materials and equipment, and prioritized our last mile schools. The challenges of the pandemic also brought to light the urgent need to upgrade our ICT infrastructure to service the needs of education. In terms of the teachers upskilling and reskilling, we were able to establish more innovative professional standards for teachers and school heads. We have aligned the professional development of teachers with their career progression to track their development as part of the National Educators Academy of the Philippines transformation. With the launch of the Education Futures program, where we will be focusing on innovative actions and solutions to improve the state of our education, we are now more than ready to start a new journey and continue our fight for quality education for all Filipino learners. Finally, we've given high importance to the engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration. In support of this, we have convened the Philippine Forum for Accessible Quality Basic Education, or the Education Forum, which will leverage other partnerships for education quality and strengthen partnership with the Philippine Normal University as the country's national center for teacher education. The department has also been developing a professional development program for teachers and school leaders in order to equip them with the skills, materials, and data that will allow them to help their students prepare for PISA 2022. This intervention consists of the following components: online training for teachers and school leaders, development of learning materials and practice tests for students, deepening the analysis of the PISA 2018 results, and supporting school-level action research. Now that the year is about to end, our commitment to Sulong Edukalidad will continue and will be far from being gone. With a lot at stake, considering our new knowledge and experience from this year's challenges, we are equipped to face a new future. As we head on to the future where we will face many challenges and uncertainties, the department will always be the guardian of every Filipino learner's right to education.
Sino ba ang hindi naapektuhan? Sino ba ang hindi nag-alala? Sino ba ang hindi nalito? Lahat tayo ay naapektuhan. Lahat tayo ay nag-aalala. Lahat tayo ay nalito. Dahil binago ng pandemyang dulot ng COVID-19 ang paraan ng pamumuhay ng lahat ng mga Pilipino saan mang sektor ka nabibilang. Tumigil ang panandalian ang ating mga nakagawian. Tumigil ang lahat ng uri ng transaksyon. Tumigil ang lahat ng operasyon ng mga paaralan. Nakalilito. Nakakakaba. Paano na ang kinabukasan ng mga kabataan? Paano na tayo sa hinaharap? Opisyal na nilulunsad ng Kagawaran ng Edukasyon Sa pangunguna ng Office of the Undersecretary for Curriculum and Instruction, ang DepEd Teaches. Ito ay isang online na programa na gagabay sa mga guro, tagapangasiwa, magulang at mag-aaral hinggil sa mga pagbabago sa batayang edukasyon ngayong new normal. Ang DepEd Teaches ay angkla sa sulong edukalidad na nakatuon sa 4 na pangunahing pangangailangan ng mapunyaging reforma tungo sa makalidad na pagtuturo at pagkatuto. Una, pagre-review at pagsasapanahon ng kurikulum ng K-12. Ikalawa, pagpapaunlad ng kapaligiran pampagkatuto. Ikatlo, paglinang ng mga bagong kasanayan sa mga guro. At ang ikaapat, ang pakikipag-ugnay sa mga stakeholder para sa suporta at kolaborasyon. Sa pamamagitan ng virtual learning platform, ang DepEd Teaches ang magsisilbing bukas na komunidad ng pagsasanay na titipon sa mga guro, tagapamunong pang-edukasyon at sa sinumang may pagnanais sa pagtataguyod ng kalidad na edukasyon sa bansa at sa pagtagumpay ng bawat Pilipinong mag-aaral. Ang mga opisyal, education specialist, learning content expert at outstanding teacher ng DepEd ang magiging tagapanayam na magbabahagi ng kanilang kaalaman at kasanayan sa kurikulum, pagtuturo at pagkatuto, pagtataya at lahat ng kaugnay na mahalaga sa proseso ng pagtuturo at pagkatuto sa new normal. Bilang mga frontliner ng classroom, inaasahang magiging aktibo ang mga guro sa programang ito. Ang mga tema at paksa ay angkop sa kanilang pangangailangan at konteksto sa pamamagitan ng accessible na platform, ang social media. Sumali na sa OUCI family sa DepEd Teaches, kung sama-sama mapahuhusay pa ang mga guro, kung sama-sama higit na malilinang natin ang mga mag-aaral.
A pleasant afternoon, everyone. Every day, we start a new page in our story, and here in DepEd Teaches, we can make it a great one today. Welcome to our 22nd episode under the theme Community Linkages and Teacher Development. Shout out, by the way, to all our viewers here on DepEd Philippines, DepEd Tayo, and DepEd YouTube channel, and of course to our official Facebook page, the DepEd Teaches. We hope that you will continuously support our growing online social community by not forgetting to like, follow, and share our official Facebook page, the DepEd Teaches. Hello, Miss Anna. Good afternoon. What exciting discussion have we prepared to our audience?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Sir July. So in today's session, we will talk about teacher performance. As we all know, successful learning doesn't depend only on the curriculum, assessment, parents' involvement, community engagement, but more importantly, on our teachers because they play a crucial role. Hence, our educational system, we devise a system to appraise their effort and performance or the quality of teaching with the help of standards. So, because without these standards, Sir July, I think there can be no improvement. What do you think about standards, Sir July?
When I think about standards, Ma'am Anna, I think about competing against yourself because you are trying to overcome your limitations and weaknesses by setting and aiming to reach those high standards. So just like what you have said, it's one way of self-improvement.
I agree with that. Similar to how teachers set standards when They are evaluating learners' performance, or when learners are working on their performance tasks, they define specific qualities or characteristics that they can measure in terms of the process and outcomes that students have demonstrated. So, following that same principle, all workers, even leaders, regardless of our profession or position, we are evaluated in terms of how we deliver in accordance with the standards.
Exactly, Ma'am Ana. And performance evaluation using standards is a good practice because it may lead to promotion and incentives, and also it will also help understand our training needs. So overall, performance evaluation contributes to the growth of an organization.
I absolutely agree with that. And with the help of standards, it's like a safeguard tool because we know that our actions are bound within this set of parameters. So we are properly guided that can help us monitor our own progress. So we know if we are on track or off target.
Sounds interesting, Ma'am Ana. And for sure, we will have a deeper understanding of evaluating teachers' performance as we listen to our invited resource person today. But before that, we have a discussion starter. You know, we always want our audience to be engaged and feel that their ideas are very important to us. So today, we will have a compass point activity. This thinking routine allows us to explore various facets of the topic and invites us to express our opinion.
So in this compass point activity, it has four subtasks, namely the excited, worrisome, need to know, and stance, which correspond to a particular question that we encourage you, our dear viewers, to share your insights in our live comment section now. So I hope everyone will participate and you are ready now to share your answers to our questions. So we have four questions and we give you 30 seconds each. So let us now show the first part of the compass point activity. Let's show them now the first question. Okay, so for the excited part, what excites you about teacher performance evaluation standards in the new normal? Again, what excites you about teacher performance evaluation standards in the new normal? Is there any idea that you are excited or you're very curious to find out about teacher performance evaluation standards?
All right. For the second compass point question, we can show them now our second question. What do you find worrisome about teachers' performance evaluation standard? Again, what do you find worrisome about teacher performance evaluation standard? So again, please write your answer in the comment section and 30 seconds start now.
All right, okay. So that's the second question. Now let's proceed to the next slide. The need to know. Okay, so for the third question, dear viewers, what else do you need to know about teacher performance evaluation standards, especially in this new normal? What else do you need to know about teacher performance evaluation standards.
Okay, so let us move now to our fourth and last compass point question. So here's our question for the stance. What is your current opinion about having teacher performance evaluation standards in the new normal? Again, what is your opinion about having teacher performance evaluation standards in the new normal? So please write your answer in the comment section and 30 seconds start now. All right. Thank you so much, dear teachers, for responding and answering to our compass point question in the comment section of our live streaming page. By the way, dear viewers, did you notice why we called it compass point? So as we all know, compass tell us direction and show us direction. So basically, we have 4 direction in our compass. We have the east, west, north, and south. So let us show them a compass. In the context of our activity for this episode on teachers' performance standards, the main 4 direction of the compass correspond to the 4 questions that we have asked. The east direction is for the things that excite you. The west is for the question that worries you. The north direction is for the things that you need to further know. And lastly, the south is for the stance or your opinion about teacher performance standard. So we hope that you were able to have thoughtfully considered the 4 questions that we have just posed. Being an active listener like you always mean you reflect on every learning experiences here on DepEd Teaches.
Right. Okay. So thank you for that trivia about the compass point activity, Sir July. So at this point, to give us a clear and strategic direction on teacher performance evaluation standards in the new normal, let us all meet our resource person. Dr. Novelyn Miraflor Vilchez has experience wearing multiple hats that have helped her grow remarkably in her profession as an outstanding educator and leader when she started from being a secondary school teacher and master teacher in social studies at Iloilo City National High School. Later on, she got promoted as Education Supervisor 1 in Social Studies, Values Education, Research Evaluation, and Guidance at the Division of Iloilo City, and eventually became the Education Supervisor 2 in Social Studies. Years after, she became the Chief Education Supervisor in the following offices: Quality Assurance and Accountability Division, Human Resource Development Division, Curriculum and Learning Management, and Regional Field Technical Assistance Division of DepEd Region 6.
Also, Dr. Novelyn Vilchez graduated magna cum laude in Bachelor of Science in Education in the West Visayas State University in 1982 as a teacher education scholar. She was the 6th placer in the 1982 Professional Board Examination for Teachers or PBET and also a UP DEX scholar. She also became a cultural exchange scholar in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore, and a recipient of scholarship on country monitoring and evaluation under the Australian aid. She has served the following schools division offices as Assistant Schools Division Superintendent: SDO Bacolod City, SDO Guimaras, and SDO Iloilo. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Officer in Charge, Office of the Schools Division Superintendent of SDO Silay City, DepEd Region 6, ASDS Dr. Novelyn Miraflor Vilchez.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the session where we shall discuss the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, or the PPST, specifically the guidelines on the implementation of the Results-Based Performance Management System, or the RPMS, for school year 2020-2021 in time of COVID-19 pandemic. This slide presents the policy governing the Department of Education's RPMS. The guidelines are contained in Memorandum DM-PHROD 2021-0010 issued last January 11, 2021 by Yusek Jesus Lorenzo R. Mateo. This memorandum is issued to provide comprehensive guidelines to all DepEd schools in the implementation of the school year 2020-2021 RPMS in times of COVID-19. The demand for teaching and learning has changed for the school year 2020-2021 as a result of the impact of COVID-19. The expectations of teachers must be captured in their performance assessment through a more contextualized results-based performance management system, or RPMS, that captures the DepEd current system that governs teachers' functions. The selected RPMS objectives aim to assist teachers to adapt and or respond more quickly and effectively to emerging circumstances associated with the challenges brought about by the pandemic. There are 11 priority indicators from the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, or PPST, chosen as RPMS objectives for this school year. These priority indicators were selected based on being more responsive and appropriate to the current context of the teachers, learners, and the learning environment. You are now looking at the list of the next 11 set of RPMS objectives. The first column is for the proficient teacher, while the second column is for highly proficient teacher. Objective 1 on content knowledge and Objective 3 on higher order thinking skills are repeated for RPMS school year 2021 in the time of COVID-19. Objective 5 on strategies for learners in difficult circumstances is especially selected for the school year as learners and the whole people across the globe in general have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The way teachers adjust and modify the teaching and learning delivery is captured in this year's RPMS. The objectives 1 to 7 from the previous slides are classroom observable, while objectives 8 to 11 are non-classroom observable. May I present to you the school year 2020-2021 RPMS objectives based on the priority PPST indicators. For the proficient teachers, who are the teachers 1 to 3. First objective, applied knowledge and content within and across curriculum teaching areas. Weight allotted is 8%. Second, ensured the positive use of ICT to facilitate the teaching and learning process. Weight is 8%. Applied a range of teaching strategies to develop critical and creative thinking as well as other higher order thinking skills. Weight allotment is 8%. Fourth, established a learner-centered culture by using teaching strategies that respond to their linguistic, cultural, socio-economic, and religious backgrounds. Weight is 8%. Fifth, planned and delivered teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances, including geographic isolation, chronic illness, displacement due to armed conflict, urban resettlement or disasters, child abuse, and child labor practices. Weight is 8%. Sixth, used strategies for providing timely, accurate, and constructive feedback to improve learner performance. Weight is 8%. Seventh, selected, developed, organized, and used appropriate teaching and learning resources, including ICT, to address learning goals. Weight is 8%. Eighth, set achievable and appropriate learning outcomes that are aligned with learning competencies. Weight is 8%. Ninth, built relationships with parents or guardians and the wider school community to facilitate involvement in the educative process. Weight is 8%. 10th, participated in professional networks to share knowledge and to enhance practice. Weight is 8%. 11th, developed a personal improvement plan based on reflection of one's practice and ongoing professional learning. Weight is 8%. And the 12th, perform various related works or activities that contribute to the teaching learning process or the plus factor. Weight is 8%. Let us now discuss the school year 2020-2021 RPMS objectives of highly proficient teachers who are the master teachers 1 to 4. The first objective is modeled effective applications of content knowledge within and across curriculum teaching areas. Weight 8%. Second, promoted effective strategies in the positive use of ICT to facilitate the teaching and learning process. Weight is 8%. Third, developed and applied effective teaching strategies to promote critical and creative thinking as well as other higher order thinking skills. Weight is 8%. Fourth, exhibited a learner-centered culture that promotes success by using teaching strategies that respond to their linguistic, cultural, socio-economic, and religious backgrounds. Weight is 8%. Fifth, evaluated with colleagues teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances, including geographic isolation, chronic illness, displacement due to armed conflict, urban resettlement or disasters, child abuse, and child labor practices. Weight is 8%. Sixth, used effective strategies for providing timely, accurate, and constructive feedback to encourage learners to reflect on and improve their own learning. Weight is 8%. Seventh, advised and guided colleagues in the selection, organization, development, and use of appropriate teaching and learning resources, including ICT, to address learning goals. Weight is 8%. Eighth, modeled to colleagues in setting of achievable and challenging learning outcomes that are aligned with learning competencies to cultivate a culture of excellence for all learners. Weight is 8%. Ninth, guided colleagues to strengthen relationships with parents or guardians and the wider school community to facilitate involvement in the educative process. weight is 8%. 10th, contributed actively to professional networks within and between schools to improve knowledge and to enhance practice, weight is 8%. 11th, initiated professional reflections and promote learning opportunities with colleagues to improve practice, weight is 8%. And the 12th, performed various related works or activities that contribute to the teaching-learning process. This is the plus factor. Weight is 8%. The timeline for each phase of the RPMS cycle is adjusted in consideration of school calendar for school year 2020-2021, which begins on October 5, 2020 and ends on July 10, 2021, and adjustments of teachers in compliance with the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan for the school year. Let us discuss intensively each of the 4 phases of the RPMS cycle. Let us start with Phase 1, which is performance planning and commitment. Phase 1 shall be done prior to the start of the performance cycle. It is expected that in January 2021, Phase 1 is done. Here are the activities in Phase 1 and the roles of the raters and ratees. Raters or principals shall meet with the ratees to discuss the RPMS tools. In this phase, ratees shall take the self-assessment tool or the ESAT. Only the ratees can view the results. Others, including the principal and ICT coordinator, are not allowed to view the individual results of the teachers. In January 2021, ratees shall have development plans based on self-assessment tool and signed IPCRF. There are 2 self-assessment tool RPMS. The SAT RPMS for teacher 1 to 3, who are the proficient teachers, and the SAT RPMS for master teachers 1 to 4, which are the highly proficient teachers. This is the self-assessment tool for proficient teachers, while this slide presents the self-assessment tool for highly proficient teachers. Let us talk about the electronic self-assessment tool or the ESAT. It is an electronic version of the self-assessment tool for RPMS. The tool supports schools in analyzing school-wide SAT data of teachers to help plan for teachers' professional development. This slide shows an overview of the contents of the ESAT guide for ICT personnel, teachers, school heads, department heads, and division HR personnel. The roles and responsibilities of the involved personnel in the ESAT protocol for school year 2020-2021. Why do you need the summary results of teachers' data? The summary results of teachers' data can provide you an overall picture of the teacher's strengths and needs. This can help you prepare the school and division development plans and other various development interventions in preparation for the next school year. During Phase 1 of the RPMS cycle, IPCRF development plan of teachers shall be done after taking the self-assessment tool, considering the PPST indicators of the current rating period. The development plan is then updated by the teacher during the mid-year review, which is Phase 2, and finalized during Phase 4. Meanwhile, the school development plan shall be done after all IPCRF development plans of teachers are consolidated and shall consider PPST indicators from both the current and the previous rating periods. The electronic SAT is a self-assessment tool that helps teachers reflect on the different objectives related to their professional work. The results of the self-assessment will guide teachers on which RPMS objectives they must improve and the areas where they need coaching and mentoring. Please take note that individual SAT or ESAT results should only be seen by the one who took it. Note that the more the survey becomes high stakes, respondents become less and less honest in accomplishing it. Confidentiality should be strictly observed to help teachers genuinely reflect, hence giving out a more accurate results. Let us now proceed with a discussion of the phase 2 of the RPMS cycle, which is the performance monitoring and coaching. This phase is considered the heart of the RPMS cycle as it is very critical in ensuring delivering of standards-based results at the end of the rating period. Phase 2 shall commence after the rater and the ratee committed on the objectives as specified in the IPCRF. The IPCRF must also be signed. This should be done all throughout the year. Performance monitoring shall provide key inputs and objective basis for rating. It shall facilitate feedback and provide evidence of performance. Both the rater and the ratee are responsible to agree to track and record significant details through the use of Performance Monitoring and Coaching Form, or the PMCF. Significant details are actual events and behaviors in which both positive and negative performances are observed and documented. Coaching and feedback is a continuous process. Coaching and feedback shall be provided by the rater and or shall be sought by the ratee to improve work performance and behavior. The rater, playing a critical role in the performance monitoring and coaching, shall provide an enabling environment and intervention to improve performance and to manage and develop individual potentials. A mid-year review is prescribed to determine the progress in achieving the objectives. During the mid-year review, the rater shall inform the ratee the status of his or her performance. Coaching, feedback, and appropriate intervention shall be provided whenever necessary. We are now looking at the different tools or forms used in phase 2, which is performance monitoring and coaching. The raters and ratees are responsible to familiarize themselves with these tools. The outputs at the end of phase 2 are the agreements based on IPCRF, IPCRF-DP, and portfolio. Here are the portfolio preparation and organization and timeline. The mid-year review is during the first week of May 2021. By May to June 2021, all teachers or the ratees must have already 2 classroom observation ratings. Our classroom observation tool number 1 will be used between February to April 2021. Let us discuss the RPMS Alternative Classroom Observation. The alternative classroom observations for RPMS is considered only for school year 2020-2021 due to the absence of or limited capacity for face-to-face learning. There are 3 types of RPMS alternative classroom observation. The first is the online observation. This applies to teachers who will adopt online synchronous learning regardless of the number of classes and learners. Another type is the observation of a video lesson. Consider this mode of observation only when option 1 is not possible. On option 2, on video lesson, this is used in the lesson delivery as supplementary material or as learning material for online asynchronous learning. It's not the same as the video lesson for TV-based instruction. This is SLM-based or MELC-aligned. A video recording of a teacher while teaching a lesson can be stored in a cloud such as Google Drive or any storage device such as flash drive. The third type of RPMS alternative classroom observation is the observation of a demonstration teaching via Learning Action Cell or the LAC. Consider this mode of observation only when options 1 and 2 are not possible. On option 3, which is Learning Action Cell, in DepEd's Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan in the time of COVID-19, a support mechanism shall be established for teachers and school leaders to have access to relevant on-demand technical and administrative advice and guidance which come in many forms, including professional learning communities through the LAC. There should be 2 classroom observations for the entire school year. Ratees should submit 2 classroom observation tool or the COT rating sheets, inter-observer agreement forms as MOV for objectives that require such. Example are the objectives 1, 5, and 7. The alternative classroom observation should follow this time frame. This is the diagram showing the process and protocols for classroom observation in RPMS. For online observation, for observation of a video lesson, and observation of a demonstration teaching via Learning Action Cell. The alternative classroom observation process are almost similar with the process of classroom observation done face-to-face. The pre-observation, observation, and post-observation are still followed with very minimal modifications. This slide shows the comparison among the 3 types of alternative classroom observation processes in terms of the tools used and the activities of the observers and teachers in each of the different types. Those written in black are the similarities, while those written in red are the differences. But the same tools are used in the different types of classroom observation processes. So that in pre-observation, all types of alternative classroom observation processes are using the COT RPMS rubric. For the observation, the 3 are using the observation notes form, while in the post-observation, the 3 types are using the rating sheet or the inter-observer agreement form. Observer or observers and the teacher meet to discuss the results of the observation. They affix their signatures on the rating sheet or the inter-observer agreement form. For highly proficient teachers, a proof of attendance during observation is part of their MOV. Hence, the following protocol should be observed. For online observation, invite your colleague or colleagues to sit in your online class. Have an attendance sheet signed after the class. For observation of a video lesson, give a copy of your video lesson to your colleague or colleagues, which they should view. Have an attendance sheet signed afterwards. And note that observers must ensure that colleague or colleagues view the video lesson. For observation of a demonstration teaching via LAC, please invite your colleague or your colleagues to observe your demonstration teaching during the LAC session. Have an attendance sheet signed afterwards. What is the role of the supervisors in the classroom observation? District and division supervisors or the EPS and PSDS may still observe the teacher. The ratings and observation notes may be used to provide technical assistance to the school head of the teacher observed. The ratings will not form part of the teacher's RPMS rating and portfolio because based on DepEd Order Number 2, Series 2015, Annex A, page 18, only the master teacher, head teacher, and the school head can rate the teacher. There are 2 COT RPMS rubrics, one for proficient teachers and one for highly proficient teachers. The COT RPMS must state Classroom Observation Tool, RPMS, in the time of the COVID-19. Ratees and raters must use this version of the COT RPMS for school year 2020-2021 and not the version released in late last year and early this year before the pandemic affected the country. 7 out of the 11 priority strands are classroom observable. For proficient and highly proficient teachers. The strands have indicators for proficient and highly proficient teachers, but only 3 will be subject to classroom observation. The rating of the teacher for this objective will be based on the teacher's score on the COT rubrics. Rating sheet for highly proficient teacher. The ratees teacher shall continue the gathering and organizing of documents for their portfolio. The tool that is being used here is the COT RPMS portfolio. For RPMS objectives 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or the non-classroom observable indicators. These are the non-classroom observable indicators for the proficient teachers. And we have the means of verifications. These are also the non-classroom observable indicators for the highly proficient teachers. Okay. And the means of verifications. Let's now proceed to the discussion of the Phase 3 or the performance review and evaluation. Phase 3 shall be done at the end of the performance cycle to assess teachers' performance level based on commitments and measures as contained in the signed IPCRF. The schedule of Phase 3 is done a week after the scheduled graduation, that is any time after July 12 to 16, 2021. The rater and the ratee shall discuss and agree on the actual accomplishments and results of the performance commitments and measures made at the beginning of the rating period. They shall pass judgment whether each objective has been achieved or not. The significant incidents as reflected in the performance monitoring and coaching form shall be considered for the actual results. The rater and the ratee shall reach an agreement by signing the IPCRF. The raters and ratees are responsible to familiarize themselves with these tools that are the RPMS tools, IPCRF, SAT, IPCRF development plans using performance monitoring and coaching form. The timeline of this phase is a week after scheduled graduation, and the output is the IPCRF with computed final rating. After the media review, that is after the first semester, classroom observation must have already commenced. By May to June 2021, all ratees or teachers must have already 2 classroom observation ratings. The ratees, who are the teachers, shall continue the gathering and organizing of documents for their portfolio. The tool used is the COT RPMS and portfolio. For RPMS objectives 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or the non-classroom observable indicators. Here is the RPMS tool for proficient teachers and for highly proficient teachers. There are 7 classroom observable objectives for both proficient and highly proficient teachers. The performance indicators of these objectives are identified for quality, except for objective number 6, which has quality and timeliness. There are 4 non-classroom observable objectives for both proficient and highly proficient teachers. The performance indicators are identified for quality in objective number 8 and quality and efficiency in objectives number 9 to 11. Plus factor is objective number 12. Let's now proceed to phase 4, which is performance rewarding and development, and this happens in July 2021. In this stage, raters and ratees shall prepare for phase 4. In this phase, the rater and the ratee shall discuss ways forward based on the performance of the ratee for the school year. The tool to be used is the IPCRF development plan. The rater shall discuss and provide qualitative comments, observations, and recommendations in the ratee's performance commitment, competency assessment, and significant incidents, which shall be used for training and professional development. This can be written under the Strengths and Development Needs column of the Part 4 of the IPCRF Development Plan. These strengths and development needs shall be written in the IPCRF Development Plan. You are looking at the summary of all the things that we have discussed in the previous slides. Let's proceed to the ratee, rater, and approving authority in the RPMS. If the head teacher or the master teacher are the ratees, their rater is the principal or the school head, and the approving authority is the school's division superintendent for small and medium schools divisions. But for large and very large schools divisions, it's going to be the assistant schools division superintendent. You are looking at the link where you can access RPMS materials for the previous year. DepEd has prioritized improving quality of teachers through PPST, giving premium to teachers' welfare and professional development. According to McKinsey & Company 2007, the quality of an education system cannot exceed the quality of its teachers. With this in mind, we in the Department of Education have made it our priority to develop and nurture our teachers. Thus, we give premium to our teachers' welfare and professional development by continuously introducing human resource interventions, such as the alignment of the results-based performance management system with the PPST. With an agency as big as ours, we are no stranger to challenges and difficulties, but our commitment to both our learners and teachers has pulled us through. To everyone, I say thank you so much. God bless us all, and please stay safe.
Thank you so much, ASDS Novelyn Vilchez. It can't have been anything but difficult to discuss such critical topic, yet the presentation positively made everybody think and reflect their own performance. Once again, thank you so much, ASDS Vilchez. Just keep on sharing your insights here in DepEd Teaches comment section, and more so, you can post your insights and learnings on your personal social media accounts like the Facebook and Twitter pages. Don't forget to use the hashtag #ISupportDepEdTeaches, and hashtag DepEdTeaches episode 22.
Okay, so we have few reminders to our live audience, to our viewers. Today is the last episode under the theme Community Linkages and Teacher Development. For you to receive your certificates of appearance and participation, you must pass the evaluation. On the screen, you see the link. It is open until Saturday midnight. So if you miss some of the highlights in the episodes, in episodes 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, you can always watch it again on our official Facebook page, DepEd Teaches, before taking the evaluation, because you only have one chance. So we hope you will take the evaluation seriously. Again, thank you so much for being here with us today. We hope to see you again next week for a new theme only here on DepEd Teaches.
On behalf of the Curriculum and Instruction Strand, we are always delighted to serve you the best learning opportunity, and we hope that in today's episode, we have come to realize how important teachers' professional standards are. Always remember, more than the standards, you, dear educators, are more important to us. For our mission is empowering teachers, enabling learners. A blessed afternoon, everyone.